Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Our first guest of the night is Josh Maiese. Josh, welcome to the neighborhood, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I know Josh works for a company not the same as me, and some people in this world are like scarcity mindset, and they're like, oh no, I don't want to work with other loan officers, I don't want to talk with it. But I've always been of the mindset, like, dude, there's enough business to go around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I always root for everybody to win, and we've talked before, and we've done some stuff before. Like, I don't know, the people that helped me when I was newer in the business, even if they were competition or however you want to put it, like, it's just good to put that energy out there,
It goes a long way.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring Josh in. We collaborate. We talk on Facebook a lot. And some of my really good friends in the business work with you. Andrew Bednarczyk is one of my boys. He's in another networking group. Good guy, and I always want to bring in that positive energy. So I'm glad you came out.
Thank you.
And so the way we do it, we go a little bit, we do the pre-life, and then we do some other stuff. So pre-mortgage business, because you're relatively new to the business now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What was the road that led you to the mortgage industry? Like, how'd you get here?
Yeah, good question. So I graduated from Deptford High School, and then I went directly to Rutgers Camden University. Okay. And I was being a little ambitious. I was like, I don't want to do this in 4 years. Let me figure out a way to get out of this as fast as possible. So I took a bunch of summer classes, did the whole 9 yards, got involved as much as I could, realized, like, wow, why did I rush all that time? So I graduated in 3.5 years, went on to work at JP Morgan and Chase. But it turns out, like, corporate world was just a whole different beast for me. I thought I was going to be a corporate banker. It sounds cool, it's like a good job title, the whole nine, but I was miserable.
Yeah.
So I kind of
Were you here, or were you, like, New York City? Where was your
I was
location?
in Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
So, it was with some top people, and it was very, like, life-changing because I realized what I didn't want to do, and that's why I feel like everybody needs to take that leap of faith or take that extra step that you don't think you can actually accomplish. Because at the age of 20, I didn't think I was going to be working at an investment corporate bank for one of the biggest banks in America. Right. You know what I mean? So it was nuts. And then eventually I just ended up parting ties with them. And then I got back into corporate world. And I actually worked at Burlington Coat Factory, their corporate office over in Burlington, kind of just to fill some time to figure out what I wanted to do long term. And yeah, that was great. Everything was good. And then Freedom Mortgage fell in my lap. So their whole thing with first flyers, bring on college students, get their license, the whole 9 yards.
Sure.
And I just realized I was a product of the system, basically, and you're just basically smiling, dialing the whole time. So, and I realized I can't be an asset at that point because I can't do what I do best and be personable. At that place, you're a robot. You're
an order taker. That's the way it is.
You're at the mercy of their game, and it's like, which is fine to an extent, but at the same time, how can I provide my full value without being me?
Yeah.
And better than anybody, you have to not sell yourself, but you just got to be a good person and put out that energy, and eventually the world will give it back to you. And dude, it's just not like that over there. So I knew immediately. I was like, you know what? This is not a good fit. And eventually I landed with my boss, Steve Stalcup, over at Nation One, and we've been together the past 3 years. And
that's awesome.
Looking back, it's been fantastic.
That's awesome. You touched on something that I think is really important. Like, sometimes it's really important to know what you have to do. But other times, it's just as important to know what you don't want to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that can be just as good. There's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't really know where I'm going next, but I know where I'm not going.
Yeah.
And
like, and being in the mortgage world, like, you can probably attest to this so much. Like, you wake up every day and you're like, do I want to do this the rest of my life? And it's like, and then you have other days where you're like, yes, I want to do this.
Sure.
So it's like everything. I mean, you could be a construction worker, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor. You're going to have those what ifs or what's
for
out
sure
there. And as you're younger and you progress in your careers, don't be as scared to take that leap of faith. I took mine, and look where I'm at 4 years later. I'm meeting so many fantastic people day in and day out.
For sure. So. And the world has changed from when my parents were younger and your parents were younger. Like, the average adult from 18 to 60 has like 3 careers now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where when my parents were younger,
That's interesting,
you went to the factory at 18 and
you stayed
got
there
a
till 65,
pension, and you were done. Now there's no pensions, there's nothing. It's you get your own 401k, you get your own retirement plan. Sometimes like I was a teacher, I've done furniture sales, I've done a bunch of stuff, and like my kids, my 21-year-old now is like, I want to be a teacher, and I'm like, awesome, but guess what? If you change your mind later on,
and that's okay. Yeah,
it's okay. No big deal. Don't feel like it
yeah.
has to be this path. Your path is going to go this way. It might go here, then it might come back here, and you got to be flexible because so many people in our society are walking down a path that they don't want to be walking down and haven't wanted to be walking down that path for years, and people are scared to just pull the Band-Aid.
I get it, and it's like weird because I'm in a weird spot because like a lot of my friends are still into that like high school mentality, like where they're not they're kind of just kicking tires, and then there's that other side where it's like we're go-getters, we're that young hungry group. So it's you got to kind of just find your balance in this world, you know, like who you are and who you surround yourself with is really everything. Everybody says it and they say it's so cliche, but the younger you are, start off as young as possible, meeting fantastic people. And by the time 5 years go by, you're going to look back and be like, wow, I'm so glad I did that. Because you never know what doors that opens. You know?
And your age group gets a pretty bad rap, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, and in my experience,
lazy, we don't like to do work. Yeah, the whole 9 yards. Yep.
And it is a little bit more uncommon for someone who's 21 to 23, 24 to be in your position. You know what I mean? For someone who's 21, 23, 24 to be in 100% commission, go hunt job, you know, that mindset is a little different. It's awesome to see that type of thing because it's definitely less popular than most kids your age, or not. You're not a kid, but most guys your age think, you know, go to high school, go to college, come out, get a job, kind of like what you did, you know.
And I realized it's not for me, man. And it's like, it's so funny you said that. When you take that plate of food in front of you and you take it away and you have to go hunt for that, it's so much of a different mentality, and you wake up every day and you're like, all right, I'm ready to kill.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like you're ready to go out and kill the day.
Sure.
And I always preach to people, I'm like, listen, you're not going to figure it out all in one day. It's just not going to happen. I used to do that. I'd drive myself crazy. But if you get that 1% every single day where you're just changing somebody else's life, making yourself better, you know, eventually it'll snowball into good things.
And okay, let's go to play on that. Outside of the work stuff, making yourself better, improving yourself, what are some of the things that you do? I mean, I've seen you at the gym, so I know there a little bit. What do you do mentally, physically, spiritually to prepare yourself to be a better version of you?
So what I realized being so young in this career was that I needed to set up healthy boundaries, because you know probably better than anybody, the second you wake up as a loan officer, your day started. The second you shut your eyes, that's it, okay. But when your eyes are open, you're always working. So I created like a healthy boundary kind of where I don't like to work before 8:30 in the morning or 8 in the morning. Typically more 8 in the morning now. But give myself between 6 and 8 to kind of get myself mentally ready for the day, whether that be go to the gym or, because I like to change it up. I don't like to be on the same routine every day. And I guess that's kind of like a little difference in our mentalities, not like yourself, but like the older generation and my generation. Like we don't like to do the same thing over and over and over again. And I feel like the older generation just likes the same morning routine.
I love that, man.
Yep, exactly.
I am a creature of habit. I want to know 6:57 a.m. every day. I'm here.
You'll never know where I'm at. Because like I could be at the gym at 8 o'clock at night, or I can go at 6 in the morning. It's just every day's a new day. And I like to change it up because that's why I'm in this career. Every day's a new day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like outside of work, what I also like to do, I also talk to my brother a lot. I give him business advice because he's making that transition. He's 21. He was trying to get into like the contracting business, drywall, spackling, stuff like that. So I've been kind of trying to sharpen his skills and getting him more into the business mindset. And it's helping me because as you teach people, you learn about yourself. So I always tell that to other people, like if you can find somebody that needs your help, give it to them, because you're going to learn so much more about yourself at the end of the day than you ever even imagined.
What about like mental podcasts, coaches,
Yeah, I was gonna
stuff
say,
like that?
I did. I took a swing at 75 hard. I saw you completed
Okay.
it, so
Okay.
congrats. I made it to 63, and then my brother turned 21, and unfortunately,
Uh,
I had to drink a little bit. I turned 21 once, so
That's
that was the
right.
reason why I failed. But I do follow the principles of it. Basically, waking up every day, getting your habits done, making sure you are on task every day, and when you're falling off, you can resort back to something. So that was the best thing I got out of that challenge. And I also like to listen to a lot of podcasts like Ed Milet. He's fantastic. The Power of One More, that book.
Beautiful.
Like, I know it's kind of brand new in the grand scheme of things, but dude, I can't tell you. I was on the Peloton this morning, and I was like, I accidentally hit a 60-minute workout instead of a 30-minute, and I was like, you know what? I was at like that 30-second minute. I was like, come on, just one more. And that one more led into 30 more minutes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just the power of just telling yourself, stop. Just take that breather for a second and be like, okay, I can do this. And then you just do it, and you feel 10 times better. So
That's awesome.
I was going to say, how about yourself? Like, is it a similar lifestyle? Like, or do you what's some things that you do to take yourself out of work and kind of get yourself okay?
I try to do now on my schedule.
Yeah.
I try to work out every day. Depending on the day where it is, like Monday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm normally at the gym. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, I have early morning networking groups, so I can't really do the gym the way I want to. So normally I'll just walk, and then I'll work out later on.
Still something that's better
or
than
play
nothing,
some
man.
sports,
Yeah. Good.
you know.
Good.
I believe I listen to a lot of. I'm older, so I listen to a lot of anti-aging
Okay.
podcasts. A couple guys were on at Maiese. David Sinclair is one of the big guys that are on there. I try to do sauna for 20 minutes a day. I try to do in the sauna. I listen to some manifestation, meditation things. Try to bring my mental mindset in. And like you said with the 75 hard, I do different variations of it. If I'm on, I'm on. But if not, I still try to do the 2 workouts a day.
Good.
I still try to do the limiting. I don't want to go nuts. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, I'm done 75 hard, so I'm eating 2 pies and a cake. You know, I try to keep that stuff in because...
Yeah, with moderation, yeah.
Yeah, and I am 50. And I have my 7th child on the way.
Yeah,
so I gotta live.
Awesome.
Thank you. I gotta work for at least another 18 years. I gotta be working for at least another 18 years. And I'm figuring, I gotta live to be at least 90. So you gotta really work at a lot of things to get not just, you can be rich and unhealthy and not be happy. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of...
It's a 3-headed dragon.
Yeah, the mental and the physical stuff I try to do. So along the same lines. And it's really awesome, like I said, to hear somebody your age talk about Ed Milet podcasts and stuff. Because...
I bring it up to my friends and I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Who are you talking about? Yeah.
I actually, totally separate than this, I actually am just starting another podcast with another friend of mine for entrepreneurs. And when I joke around about it a lot, but when I was a kid, there was no internet. You know what I mean? Like when I had a business when I was 17 years old, and when I needed business advice, I literally had to go to the library, go in the card catalog, and read a book about it. Like it's so different now.
Talk about commitment.
There were no entrepreneurial groups for people. There were no mentors. The mentors that you had were old business owners who didn't want to talk to you, wanted to hoard their secrets. They weren't giving anything out to anyone. So it's awesome to see the younger generation come through because I think that's part of my responsibility. You know what I mean? To be that for people. And you can't totally run someone's business for them, but if you can be a sounding board for someone, I know what it's like to be 21 years old and hate the position you're in. Or, this is a tough business. Yeah. There are days, no matter how old you've been or how long you've been in the business, where you get kicked in the lower regions 4 or 5 times in a day, and you're like, man, there's some phone calls that I've had to make and tell people that their loan was denied, where when I put the phone down, I'm like, I gotta go for a walk, man. I can't take it. So it's good. It's good for my end to give back to the younger people, and it's good to have younger people in the business. That's why I have a bunch of younger agents here that I can work to and give back to help grow. So awesome. All right, we're gonna go to your future question now. So we're going November 2024.
Okay.
Tell me some
2 years
goals
from now. Okay.
2 years from now, some goals, some vision board stuff, some boxes you're going to check off of the Josh Maiese wall.
All right, so I guess tapping into my personal life too. I recently got engaged back in
All
July,
right,
so-
awesome. All
So
right.
that's funny you brought up that year because me and Brooke are planning on getting married that year.
Okay.
So that's a big thing to look forward to. So that'll be something.
That's awesome.
So that's definitely a big check on my list. And I bought my first house that I live in back in 2020. So I do
Okay.
plan on buying another one. within the
As
next year.
as a step up house for you to live in,
Yes,
or an investment
for
property?
me and Brooke to finally get together and buy our first house together.
Gotcha.
Because I've lived there and then she moved in, but it's time to purchase something together. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what we want to do over the next 2 years. So we're trying to figure out what's our end game. You know, like do we want to stay local into the community?
You say end game.
Yeah, I know.
Kids
I know,
23 years old said
I know,
end game.
I know,
That's
yeah, I know.
awesome.
But it's just
That's
like
great.
it's just like at the end of the day, it's just like because we talked about we can move down to Florida, we can move to like South Carolina, we can move to North Carolina because this business gives us the beauty of that.
Sure.
We just need our cell phones and our laptops. It doesn't matter where you're at. You could be on a beach.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't recommend doing loans on a beach because your connection's not going to work.
But you can if you
But
have
you
to,
can
huh?
if you needed to. You know, like that tough conversation you had with that borrower. Unfortunately, you still could have had that conversation on the beach.
Anywhere you want. Yeah.
So that's the looking at the positive side. So another goal I want to accomplish is like I was talking about with my brother, get his business up and running. I
Okay.
want to eventually, I don't know if I'll be an investor side of it or I'll have some skin in the game or what it may be. I want to see him succeed more than myself because I don't know. Growing up, me and him have kind of been like I'm more of like not like a fatherly role, but like more like a mentor role. So
Sure.
seeing that would just kind of make my world over the next 2 years.
Nice.
And honestly, man, just kind of staying true to where I'm at. Like, try to meet as many people as I can. I'm 25 now, so in 2 years I'll be 27. So,
Okay.
like I said, just grow and hone the connections I have and bring people with me. You know, like I don't want to do this alone, man.
Nice.
Like, I want everybody around me to succeed. I want you to succeed. I want him to succeed. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just a matter of how can we get there together.
Nice.
You know, because nobody's doing this solo.
No.
There's absolutely no way. And you can work your job till you're blue in the face. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So you need to get creative and think of other ways, and that's where your friendships become your business partners.
Sure.
So that's where I'm kind of at with my mindset, where I'm flipping the script from friends to partners to, you know, now I got to categorize these people. And I hate to say it like that, but you have to put your time and energy into the right people.
Sure. And if you're the only successful person and everyone else is doing bad, how good can you feel?
You're in the wrong
You know what I
room.
mean?
Yeah, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah,
I know.
It's no good.
It's time to level up your friends and level up your lifestyle then because you should be the dumbest person in the room.
Absolutely.
Because you always want to learn, you know? You can always get better.
For sure. All right, now we're going to go with your final question, but I'm going to go sports with you.
Cool.
So you wake up tomorrow morning, little fairy genie comes to your head and says, Josh, you can go back and witness any sporting event that ever happened. What's the event? And you can bring one person with you. Who's the person you bring with you to the game?
I guess let's go to the event first. It's got to
Okay.
go Eagles because I have my Eagles tattoo.
Okay.
I'm just Eagles
All right.
ride or die.
So recent Eagles like 2017
It-
or old school Eagles 2005 or even older school?
So I was going to say, like I tell people all the time, I was in college when we won the Super Bowl, so I wasn't in a financial position to get out there and go to Minnesota.
Okay.
Now, if we go to the Super Bowl, I'm financing my house. I'm doing the whole
Whatever
nine
you
yards
gotta
to get
do.
out there. So if I could go back to any event, I'm going to Minnesota.
Okay.
Definitely see them beat the Patriots. But, you know, I would bring my pops with me. He's not a big sports guy, and that he kind of is, but he doesn't show it. So
Right.
that's why I want to bring him because I feel like it would
Be a
definitely
good, be a good event to do together.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be the person I bring with me.
Awesome, man. Josh, thank you
Yeah,
so much
thank
for
you so
coming
much for
by.
having me, man. It was
Awesome.
great.
We'll be right back with the next guest on Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood.